Well, there's certainly more than enough woods here for them. I mean, South Carolina has more woods than both West Virginia and Oklahoma. That's why I'm thankful we got a hold of this video of a snow trackway. And that trackway happened almost 3 years ago to the day. Because almost no Bigfooters do research here in South Carolina, almost no documentation has come out of the state. However, there is an interesting video that came to our attention obtained by a man named Robert Grimm. This video shows not a Sasquatch, but a line of very interesting and large footprints in the snow. Well, that could be what we're after. We need to investigate this further.
It's an impressive tracker. When you look at that thing, you can clearly see they're far apart prints, Bigfoot shaped.
It's a tightrope walk step in a straight line.
You can discern a left and a right. That's looking pretty squatchy. Yeah, it's really hard to fake tracks in snow because you'll see the tracks if someone's hoaxing, their tracks will be next to the fake tracks.
That is a really good point. Snow tracks are a lot harder to hoax, to fake, but also at the same time, they're so easily manipulated by just the natural environment. We need a little bit more information about the actual video. I commend Robert on his diligence in collecting this evidence. SP Robert.
Yeah, I'm Robert. How are y'all?
However, there's nothing distinct about these prints. They've been melted in the snow, and therefore you can't make out any details. Obviously, I can see there are tracks, but that doesn't mean it was made by a Bigfoot.
When I saw these tracks, I'm like, these do look legit, that videotape you got.
I was kind of shocked myself when I saw them in the yard.
Tell us how you got those.
It had snowed, obviously, by the video in 2011. And I went out on the back patio, and I'd noticed there was footprints in the snow in the yard. So I went and got a tape measure, obviously, and laid it out. And it was 84 inches between steps.
Well, what did you think it could be?
I had no idea.
Did you think it could be a Bigfoot?
It crossed my mind.
Can you describe the tracks, what you noticed about them?
Well, the biggest thing was the distance between them. They were pretty good size, 12 to 14 inches.
Did you notice any details? Did it seem like maybe that the figure had been running or walking?
The steps, I think, had been there a day or two because there was the snow had done turned to a little icy. So it was really hard to make out any real details other than, you know, they were like this big around.
Well, you know, let's take a look at this video.
Tell us what you were thinking at the time and what you saw.
First thing when I went up and saw them, I was thinking, well, somebody's been in my backyard snooping around trying to steal something or something. But we'd never had any issues with theft there. And when I noticed that they had come in from one end and didn't go to any of the buildings there on the property and went out through the woods, which was nothing in the woods there, I didn't know what to think. And that's when I went and got the tape measure and measured it, and I said, this is not a person.
When did Bigfoot come into your mind as a possibility of the maker of the tracks?
When I measured the distance, yeah, I was like, you couldn't jump in the snow like that and make them for continuous steps without something being disturbed other than footprints, so.
To me, I clearly see like that human-shaped, Bigfoot-shaped foot where you can discernibly make out left, right, left, right. I've seen a lot of photos of tracks, I've seen videos of trackways, and they're cool, but when there's no scale at them, especially a ruler or tape measure, you can't discern a lot. But he measured it, that is so key, that helps us out a lot. This video is not gonna convince a skeptic that Bigfoots are real, but for someone that knows Bigfoot's real and seeing that, knowing what Bigfoot tracks look like, that convinces me that they're here in South Carolina.
There. That's in between each individual print. We're actually looking at an 8-foot step length. That's huge.
I could probably do that if I'm running fast enough.
Well, then put your moneymaker where your mouth is.
Okay, there's one big step and for walking, okay? If I were to run,
Toe there, heel there.
that's a big critter. So footprint 14 inches. If that's a Squatch footprint, what, that gauges out to about 7 feet or more?
For a 14-inch foot, yeah. The size of the impression is pretty much what we would expect from a Sasquatch trackway. The fact that there's almost no straddle whatsoever, the footprints are almost in a direct tightrope-like walking pattern, is also a very Squatchy trait, and the habitat is spot on. We could very well have ourselves here a Sasquatch trackway on video. One thing's for sure, if that was a biped, it was taking very long steps.
Yeah, just looking at the video, seeing the measurements, I mean, that long step, the tightrope pattern, the shape of the foot, that says Sasquatch to me.
Nothing here stands out as a red flag to me. The footprints are the right length, the step length is the right length.
My concern is that with the variables with the snow track and the melting factor, I can't rule out it wasn't an animal. Looking at the video myself, it's difficult to tell any details from what I can see. You're looking at prints that have thawed and refrozen on possibly multiple occasions. I think they're leaping to conclusions, and they're adding to Robert Grimm's fairy tale.
Well, certainly, this is one of the first pieces of documentation of possible Sasquatch prints that I've seen out of South Carolina. I think that alone is enough to base a night investigation on. I say we hit the woods tonight in this general area and see if one's around.
And I think they could survive up here.
I believe Robert's story. I think he's credible, and I think that this video does show real Sasquatch tracks in the snow in South Carolina.
This is a promising area, I'll say that. It looks fantastic, and we're not very far away from where Robert found those footprints. And the conditions are even better now. Certainly the weather's better now. We don't have 1.5 feet of snow on the ground like Robert did. This seems just about perfect to me. We are in the foothills of the Appalachians, so we can actually take advantage of the topography and get one team up on high so we can make noises to broadcast out to several valleys. Renee and I are going to be in the bottom of this bowl-shaped valley, while Matt and Bobo are going to take a road up around the rim of this valley. We're going to be bouncing sounds, knocks and calls back and forth. Hopefully we can stir something up. Oh, no.
Well, you got something?
There's something right there.
What do you mean? Big?
I don't know, it's on the ground. It looks like it's behind brush.
So low to the ground, huh? I could hear something small pressing through there.
That was anything small.
Well, initially, I could hear the brush going.
Yeah, I see. There are two heat sources are on the ground, though. They look small. Perhaps raccoons? Zooming doesn't really reveal much detail.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but it's not a Sasquatch.
Hey, Renee, coffee.
Yeah, Cliff and I pushed down into this field. There's quite a thick little bit of fog kind of rolling in, a lot of mist in the air. And then we could hear something in the wood line. It's gotta be a very small mammal. But I am at a great spot where I could do a wood knock.
All right, go for it. We'll listen.
Heard you loud and clear.